Everyone, please rise for the national anthems of Pakistan and Rwanda.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome on behalf of the Center for Afghanistan, Middle East and Africa at the Institute of Strategic Studies. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to today's commemoration of Rwanda's Liberation Day. Now, this day carries immense emotional and symbolic weight, not just for Rwanda, but also for all those who believe in justice, resilience, and the transformative power of human will. Liberation Day is a tribute to the extraordinary efforts of the Rwandan people in rebuilding a nation once fractured by one of the most painful chapters in recent history. This particular incident in history reminds us that nations are not solely defined by the challenges that they have faced, but by the courage with which they have overcome them. Rwanda's remarkable journey from the horrors of genocide to peace and progress gives us hope that one day, inshallah, Gaza, or rather Palestine, which is undergoing a genocide at the hands of Israel, may also find its path to liberation, justice, and of course, lasting peace. Now, Rwanda's national transformation over the last 3 decades is both remarkable as well as inspiring. Its achievements in national unity, inclusive development, and digital advancement offer valuable lessons for countries across the global south. Now, as a country that has consistently invested in social capital and innovations, Rwanda is positioned as a key partner for Pakistan in Africa. As Pakistan pursues deeper engagement with the African continent through its Engage Africa policy, the Center for Afghanistan, Middle East, and Africa remains fully committed to expanding linkages as well as promoting meaningful partnership with our African partners. Now, this goes without saying that we continue to work very closely with the Africa Division at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, African missions based here in Pakistan, Pakistani missions based in Africa, as well as with our partners and institutions such as the Pakistan Africa Institute for Development and Research to help shape policy conversations, build mutual understanding, and of course, foster sustainable cooperation. It is in this spirit that the ISSI has initiated the regular celebration of African National Days to not only highlight the historic milestones of our African partners, but also to enhance Pakistan-Africa relations in a very constructive and sustained manner. In this context, the ISSI was honored to welcome the Honorable Foreign Minister of Rwanda in April this year, Foreign Minister Olivier. I think his visit marked a significant step in reinforcing mutual goodwill and shared commitment to building a forward-looking partnership. Now, let me just conclude by saying that on this very important day, we salute the resilience of the Rwandan people and celebrate the enduring friendship between our two countries. We remain confident that our shared vision and mutual goodwill will continue to shape a stronger and more dynamic partnership in the years to come. Before I end my remarks, I would just like to say that sadly, we lost one of our former chairmen today. May God bless him, Mr. Agha Murtaza Boya. And at the end of today's event, we will hold a small fatiha for him. So with these remarks, I once again welcome you all, and I would like to hand over the floor to Ambassador Sohail Mahmood, Director General ISSI, for his welcome remarks.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you, Ms. Amna Khan. Honorable Senator Mushahid Hussain Sayyid Saab, Ambassador Hamid Asghar Khan, Additional Foreign Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, Chairman BOG ISSI, Ambassador Carmon, Dean African Court, Ambassador Fatma, Excellencies, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. It is indeed a pleasure to welcome you all to the Institute of Strategic Studies, Islamabad, as we gather to commemorate Rwanda's Liberation Day, a day of profound historical importance and enduring national pride for the people of Rwanda. Rwanda's Liberation Day, observed on 4th of July each year, marks the end of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi community and the beginning of Rwanda's remarkable journey towards national unity, reconciliation, and transformation. It was on the 4th of July that the Rwandan Patriotic Front ended a horrific period of violence, a genocide that took more than 800,000 lives in less than 100 days. Today, as we remember this unimaginable loss, we also reflect on Rwanda's strength in turning tragedy into a story of revival and purposeful progress. Few countries exemplify resilience and reinvention as Rwanda does. Emerging from the devastation of its past, Rwanda has redefined its national trajectory through inclusive governance, digital advancement, social cohesion, and a strong commitment to sustainable development. Its achievements in empowering women, embracing innovation, and fostering institutional strength are widely acknowledged across the international community. Strategically positioned in the heart of the African continent, Rwanda has increasingly played a proactive role within the regional and global structures, from the African Union and the East African Community to the United Nations peacekeeping operations. With its long term development blueprint, the Vision 2050, Rwanda aspires to build a knowledge driven and prosperous society. These ambitions reflect a forward looking state grounded in ambition, reform, and self reliance, making Rwanda a natural partner for countries like Pakistan that seek to deepen their engagement with Africa. Pakistan views Rwanda's development journey with admiration and consider its partnership with Rwanda an important part of our broader outreach to Africa. The opening of the Pakistan High Commission in Kigali in 2021 marked a pivotal moment in reinforcing our diplomatic footprint in East Africa. The subsequent establishment of Rwanda's resident mission in Islamabad represents a meaningful reciprocal step. Far beyond the symbolism that they underscore, these diplomatic missions are practical avenues for substantive engagement between Pakistan and Rwanda. They open the door for deeper collaboration across a whole range of sectors, including trade, agriculture, higher education, healthcare, technology, and professional training. They also serve to connect our peoples, creating opportunities for exchanges and mutual learning. We were especially honored by the visit of Foreign Minister Olivier to the ISSI in April 2025 when he visited Islamabad for the formal inauguration of the Rwandan embassy in Pakistan. His wide ranging talk here not only reaffirmed the importance both sides attach to nurturing a dynamic and long term partnership, but also highlighted the role that a vibrant Rwanda is playing in Africa's transformation today. Pakistan's long engagement with United Nations peacekeeping missions in Africa, including in Rwanda, is a testament to its commitment to the peace, stability, and progress of the continent. Whether through capacity building, sharing development experience, or expanding trade and investment, Pakistan remains committed to be a constructive and trusted partner in Africa's rise. At the ISSI, we are determined to continue our proactive role in advancing Pakistan's outreach to the African continent within the framework of the Engage Africa policy. We are equally proud of our growing partnership with Paidar in this worthy cause. Senator Mushahid Hussain Sayyid has been a leading light in these endeavors, pursued with his characteristic passion, energy, and intellectual heft. Thank you. We also remain grateful to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for its consistent support. Ambassador Hamid Azhar Khan's personal presence here and his dedicated efforts continue to help expand the scope of Pakistan Africa collaboration. To conclude, as we honor the resilience of the Rwandan people and remember the lives tragically lost in 1994, we also celebrate the inspiring progress Rwanda has achieved. It is a story of rebuilding with dignity, determination, and a clear vision for the future. On this important day, I convey our heartfelt felicitations to the people and leadership of Rwanda. May Rwanda continue to achieve greater heights of peace and prosperity, and may the friendship between our two countries continue to flourish in the years ahead. Amin, and I thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to request our keynote speaker, Ambassador Hamid Azhar Khan, Additional Foreign Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, for his remarks.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. Chairman, Board of Governors, Ambassador Khalid Mahmood Saab, Director General Saab, Ambassador Sohail Mahmood, Senator Mushahid Hussain Saeed Saab, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Rwanda, and my colleague, brother Dean of the Africa Corps, the Ambassador of Morocco. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I was very fortunate to visit Rwanda earlier this year. But I tell you, whenever I think of that beautiful country, it's with very, very mixed feelings. I was advised to visit the Genocide Memorial. And I can tell you that in all my travels around the globe, I have never been overwhelmed by such deep and sad emotions as I was when I entered that terrible place. One is truly stunned to learn that the corpses, the bones, the skulls, the bodies, maybe even the souls of 250,000 people are buried in this peaceful, scenic genocide memorial. This is just the outside. There is a pall of silence which hangs over that hill, and one is lost for words. But when you enter, and the government of Rwanda is a very brave government, and they are a very brave people, because they have faced this calamity, this tragedy head on. There is no denial. There is no hiding. The brutal, unvarnished facts are displayed before you inside that museum. As you learn how colonial powers played with the minds and emotions of people, as you learn how neighbor was turned against neighbor, cousin was turned against cousin, in certain cases, brothers were turned against brothers. And then the pictures and the displays that you see there, they shock you to the point where you want to run away. I was asked to sign a memorial book that they have over there. I have no shame in confessing that I had to go outside and compose myself for a good 10 minutes before I could come back inside and pen down my thoughts. And one of the thoughts is the complete, absolute, utter failure of this UN system that we are so fond of and so enamored of. Ladies and gentlemen, without going into details, I can just tell you that whatever UN forces were deployed there, when the massacre started, even those were withdrawn. They were withdrawn. And the poor people were left to suffer, to be bludgeoned to death, to be massacred. I cannot but help compare this ineptitude and impotence of the UN system with what is happening today in Gaza again. Apart from words, we do not need words, ladies and gentlemen. When lives are being lost, we require action. And I do not see any action forthcoming. Now to the happy part. What a beautiful country. It's known as a country of 1,000 hills. It has lakes. It has welcoming people. Their journey over the last 30 years is an incredible story of resilience and proof positive of what man and women can do when they channelize their energies into a positive direction. The infrastructure, the economy, the IT sector, the tourism sector, they hold international conferences. They are developing themselves as a model in that region. Having studied Africa for the last 7 years, I always say that there are two shining stars in the sky, African sky, that I'm aware of. There must be others as well. In the northwest, we have Morocco, and in this region, you have Rwanda. These are the shining stars, ladies and gentlemen. The roads, the pavements, the greenery, the conservation. I think plastic-free also. It's a plastic-free city.
Asked you when you land in Kigali.
You are not allowed to take a plastic bag into Kigali. So good governance, another very important subject, another very important topic for Pakistan, that governance, governance, and governance, this is going to make the difference between whether your country is going to develop or not develop and which direction it is going to go into. So one has to give credit to the vision, the will, and the capacity of His Excellency, the President of Rwanda, who has been guiding and steering his country in the right direction. Over the course of the last year, Pakistan was a bit concerned because, as it happens in many regions, Rwanda had some problems with one of its much larger neighbors. And in my discussions with Her Excellency, I always said that, Your Excellency, learn from our mistakes. You can either prosper and progress, or you can fight. So please don't go down that route. And I'm very happy to learn today that as we speak, perhaps in the United States, some kind of an accord between yourself and the DRC is being signed. So for that, you deserve congratulations. Diplomacy deserves congratulations. And we hope that you will be able to have a more stable relationship in future. Of course, the border issues and the issues in the east of DRC, they are also very complex, and they have a historic element and angle to them, which requires in-depth study. It is not just about minerals. It's about tribes. It's about history. It's about a lot of other things. As far as Pakistan is concerned, and because I was able to visit also the Rwanda Development Board, I have a vision, and we are pursuing it, Madam Ambassador. We feel that Rwanda, with its strategic position surrounded by many large countries such as Uganda, Tanzania, DRC, it is the ideal place because of its safety, because of its infrastructure, because of the energy that it has. It is the ideal place for Pakistani entrepreneurs to go and invest and start supplying their products into the wider African market. Just the way I have the same opinion about Morocco, especially I think with the Dakhla Atlantic port coming up. I think the industrial zone in the south is ideally placed for Pakistani investors to go and invest over there and to penetrate into what used to be the ECOWAS, and now you have the AES, you've got Burkina, Niger, Mali. This is the way forward for Pakistan. Pakistani industry, Pakistani business people, entrepreneurs, and the government, we have to stop thinking only of exports. Africa, like Pakistan, requires investment. And Africa today, especially developed countries like Morocco and Rwanda, they are willing to incentivize your investments. You can negotiate free land, you can negotiate tax holidays, you can negotiate the free import of machinery. And once you are producing on that continent, you can export in the region without any further complications, fiscal complications. I think the recent opening of the mission here in Islamabad by the government of Rwanda and our mission opening over there, these are very, very important steps which have brought the two countries together. We had recently, as the worthy Director General mentioned, we had a very successful visit of His Excellency, the Foreign Minister of Rwanda, during which he had a large number of meetings. And of course, we are working on the follow-up of all of those meetings. The path to development for both countries is, of course, going to be a challenge, but there is plenty of space for collaboration. I think especially in education, in IT, in tourism, and in industry, Pakistan and Rwanda can truly work together a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a success story born out of a bloody genocide. But what it proves is that as long as mankind is willing to learn from its mistakes and to move away from its mistakes, we can forge a much better future for the coming generations. We can provide them with hope, we can provide them with opportunity, and we can provide them with a better future in the years ahead. In this journey, Madam Ambassador, I assure you that the Africa Division, all of us present here today, we are your committed partners for your security, for your safety, for your intelligence requirements. You will find that the Pakistani services are there to assist you and to enable you so that you have a secure Rwanda which can prosper and flourish in the years ahead. With these few words, I thank you all for your attention and congratulate you, Madam Ambassador, on this auspicious occasion. I thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. I would now like to request Ms. Fatio, High Commissioner of Rwanda to Pakistan, for her remarks.
Thank you so much, moderator, Madam Amna, Excellency Chief Guest, Honorable Senator Mshahid, sir, Excellency High Commissioners and ambassadors present here, Excellency Chairman of Board, the Chairman of Board of ISSI, Director General, Excellency Ambassador Sohai, Excellency Ambassador Ahmad Asghar Khan, Additional Secretary for Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and dear brother, thank you so much for coming for your keynote speak. I think after your presentation and the remarks of Chairman, the Director General, I will take just a few time because you highlighted everything. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank ISSI and CAMEA for having organized this informative event. In our language, we say Kwibohora 31, but Rwanda Liberation, as we celebrate 21st anniversary on 4th July 2025. We are deeply grateful for the collaboration we have having with the prestigious institute, ISSI and CAMEA. It is my honor and pleasure today to present my country here in a beautiful and respected country as Pakistan. And in the deep of my heart, I want to say shukriya for the people and the government of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan for the hospitality and the warm welcome provided to the Rwandan since we are here 1 year ago. I want to say also thank you for all to joining us today for this important event. And I take this opportunity as Rwanda High Commissioner in Islamabad to share our journey today. My remarks will be in two phases. I will take time just to say something about our liberation and how we stop the genocide against the Tutsi, like Ambassador Asghar Khan mentioned about the genocide. Rwanda is a country where the people use the same language and have the same culture. It was ruled by a king. In Kinyarwanda, we say umwami until the colonialism came. When the colonialism arrived in Rwanda, they began the system of dividing people and putting the people in a different ethnicity and marginalization. They take Hutu as majorities, Tutsi as minorities, and Twa as Bantus who work for pottery. This is a long history for Rwanda. You can read it in different book, but you need to know these three ethnicity before 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, and why they bring it this genocide. It was just for our history. The Tutsi as majorities with all of power, they began to kill the minorities Tutsi, forced them to others into exile, repress them, and take them out of the country. They try also to burn their house and also land. The minorities who remain in the country didn't not have right to study, to the land, even to work. This was the journey for our country. Rwanda got independence 1st July in 1962, but the new regime of Hutu continued the same system like colonialism for dividing people by ethnicity, and the same system where the majority repressed the minorities into outside of the country, refused them to return in the motherland till 1990, where the young people, man and woman from the Rwanda Patriotic Army began the struggle to fight against their right. I think for this struggle, I am with my defense attaché. He will take time, just a small time, to explain about this struggle. But after 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, our country have all it required to be qualified as a failed state. The genocide did not take only life of innocent people, but also the infrastructure, as the ambassador mentioned, and the government institution. When the RPA, Rwanda Patriotic Front, and defeated the genocidal regime, the streets were full of dead body, no electricity, no water, no schools, no government institution was functioning. In single name, we can say in single word, it was no life in Rwanda. It sometimes we say we began on the scratch. The survivors of the genocide were in the fear that they may be killed by, they can be killed and they can continue to make what they start, to continue to killing Tutsi. They need insurance and safety of our justice. And as a side, the killers who had not escaped the country and their families were also fear, but probably they could organize the revenge. This was our history in Rwanda. But when the RPF, Rwanda Patriotic Front, and RPA, Rwanda Patriotic Army, they stopped the genocide, They restored everything and restored the safe country, stability, peaceful environment, because they choose our unity and reconciliation as our motto. The people of Rwanda under the current government, good leadership, made some choice that brought life back of all Rwandese. Rwandans choose to be together. The genocide survivors are living in peaceful with the genocide perpetrators and their family. The survivors were requested to forgive, and the perpetrators requested to reveal the truth and what they did. I want to quote our president, His Excellency Paul Kagame. He said, "Liberation, as we know it, it is not a single event or end of point. It is an attitude that inspired everything we do and without which we cannot succeed. Each milestone we reach allow us to do more, to confront others' challenges and overcome their." His Excellency Paul Kagame, I quote. Building Rwanda as a country started from achieve, tears, anxiety, etc. It was not easy task, but the leadership made it, and it is lending to prosperity. In 2000, the country chose the vision 2022 aim to transform the country into a middle-income nation with significant economic growth and social development. Within the last 30 years, the country has made remarkable achievements. As Excellency mentioned, Ambassador Garkan, Rwanda has remarkable and many achievements. I will take some few. Rwanda, it positioned itself as the first country kingless country in Africa with 1,000 hills and incredible wildlife living throughout in a mountain and volcano with the warm hospitality of Rwandese. All Rwandese have access to 12 years basic education. It is an education for all Rwandese. All Rwandese have access to health care and equal right to the health as Rwandan. No segregation, no Tutsi, no Twa, no Hutu. We are now together as Rwandan. They improved the infrastructure and consistently we are ranking now in the World Bank in the doing business as a first country in Africa. We are now looking for international conferences. We already organized CHOGAM in 2022, a round of 5,000 people come across of the world in Rwanda. We also organized in 2023 Women Deliver. It is an international conference in Rwanda. We organize also this year, BAL 2025. I think the young generation here, they know. We're looking also to organize UCI. It is a Union Cyclist International World Champion, scheduled to be in Kigali in September 2025. And we're looking also to receive Formula One, inshallah, next year in 2026. This is Rwanda. Our GDP, it growth year by year. We are now for 7.8%. In 2026, we expect to arrive in 9%. And we are committed, inshallah, to arrive in this percentage. The life expectancy has also more than doubled since 1994. Rwanda is leading in the world to have a number of women parliamentary in the world. We are 63.7 women parliamentary in Rwanda. Rwanda is the first country in East Africa with the highest security, and our army served a long decade in UN peacekeeping mission and very disciplinary. I think, you know, Pakistan and Rwanda, we are ranked in the fourth country to have a peacekeeping mission in the UN. This is Rwanda. Rwanda is a country with determination, foreign policy. We remove the visa for every country. You can get free visa on arrival for all visitors. We open the door for all investors. We have RDB as one-stop center where you can register your business and get your certificate in 2 hours. This is Rwanda. Rwanda and Pakistan, we have a long relation as brother country. Pakistan already opened embassy in Rwanda in 2021, and we have around 700 Pakistani operated in different fields in Kigali. They enjoy Kigali and hope the number will be increasing very soon. Rwanda also opened the embassy last year. We are here now celebrating our 1 year after opening the embassy here in Pakistan. And we already signed different MAU. My brother, Ambassador Asghar Khan, he signed an MAU in political consultation in Kigali. We signed also in health, defense, and we're looking also to enhance our trade, agriculture, tourism, gender, culture, and sport. As we are here, we're looking forward to work together with Pakistani to arrive to avoid our development between our two countries. Before I conclude my remarks, I want to take this opportunity to thank the government of Pakistan and the Parliament of Pakistan to establish an African Friendship Group. When we celebrate the African Friendship Group, we already established also between Pakistan and Rwanda the friendship group. I think through parliamentarian, we will strengthen our diplomacy and economic. Thank you, Pakistan, for this friendship group. Pakistan and Rwanda, Zindabad. Thank you all.
Thank you. We will now play a short video regarding Rwanda's liberation.
Initially formed as the Rwanda Patriotic Army, this force played a pivotal role in the country's liberation struggle from 1990 onwards. Its mission extended beyond overthrowing oppressive leadership to include rebuilding the nation from its ruins. October 1st, 1990 marked the beginning of a 4-year liberation struggle as RPA soldiers took up arms against the repressive regime in Rwanda at the time. The early days of the invasion were marked by tragedy. Major General Fred Wijema, the RPA's commander-in-chief, was killed on the second day. Leadership fell to Major Paul Kagame, who revitalized the movement despite many formidable challenges. Our military will be the bedrock of the transformation. As the RPA fought to liberate Rwanda, the repressive government led by Habyarimana escalated its campaign of ethnic violence, culminating in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The international community, despite numerous warnings, failed to intervene, leaving the RPF and RPA to bear the burden of stopping the genocide and dismantling Habyarimana's genocidal regime. The RPF's victory on July 4th, 1994, marked Liberation Day, an end to the genocide and the beginning of Rwanda's rebirth. The new government faced monumental tasks: rebuilding a nation from the ruins of genocide, ensuring security, and reconciling the nation. The integration of thousands of former combatants from the ex-FAR into the new national army was a cornerstone of national reconciliation and stability. Efforts to reintegrate ex-combatants and promote national unity included psychological support, vocational training, and community reintegration programs. Professionalism and equality are the cornerstone of the RDF's ethos. Through rigorous training programs and a commitment to gender empowerment, RDF prepares its personnel for diverse challenges while ensuring community development. Beyond the battlefield, the force has been instrumental in uplifting the socio-economic status of the nation, from constructing homes for genocide survivors and vulnerable communities.
I would now like to hand over the floor to Mr. Mohammed Naeem Khan, Pakistan's High Commissioner based in Rwanda.
Excellencies, everybody spoke so well about Rwanda, about our relationship, and I'm so happy to be here. I am thankful to ISSI and my Additional Foreign Secretary and Ambassador Sohail Mahmood, my former Director General in Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and everyone who is there, Excellency, Madam Ambassador in Islamabad. You spoke, everybody spoke in detail about Rwanda, about bilateral relationship, about other dimensions. I would like to bring in your kind notice a few important points so that everybody who is sitting here, they may take note of it. And this will help us to further strengthen our bilateral and multilateral relationship with Rwanda. Rwanda, clean, green, and safe country. The country of thousand hills and the country of thousand opportunities. And the country of eternal spring. Many people, they come here for the weather because throughout the year, almost the same weather is there. Though there is dry and wet, but around the year 20 centigrade, 22 centigrade, that is the average temperature. So there is neither winter nor cold, and everywhere you go, it's a lush green country, and they have not left a single inch in this country without vegetation, without tree, without plants, without herbs, without shrubs, or there is water. Lake Kivu, it's a big lake, one of the biggest lakes of the world. So even when you go there, you feel that I'm an ocean, or I'm on a beach, or I'm observing a lake. Today started the celebrations here in Kigali. I'm sitting in Kigali. I'm having a Rwandan shirt, celebrating with the local people. We should differentiate between two important days. One day is 1st of July, and the other is 4th of July. 1st of July, that is the Independence Day of the nation, of the country. Because on 1st July, Rwanda got independence in 1962 from Belgium, from the colonial independence. So that is 1st July. And 4th July, that is their Liberation Day, when the genocide against the Tutsi officially it came to an end, the victory of the RPF and the people, they celebrated here because 7th of April, that is a genocide memorial day. So on that day, you can see kind of sadness, melancholy, and tragic sentiments and feelings. But today, this is a celebration day. It's a liberation day. It is a victory day, and it is a day where the people everywhere in Kigali, everywhere in Rwanda, you see people, they are dancing, they are listening to music, they are celebrating. So this is a day of happiness here in Kigali, Rwanda. So these are two important days. One is 1st July, and same coincidentally the same month, July, 4th July. So sometimes people confuse these 2 days. Rwandans, they have the whole week. The coming week is the celebration day. Today the weekend started. So this whole week is holidays, and every office is closed, and people will be celebrating the whole day. Taking this opportunity, I invite ISSI and Senator Mushahid Hussain, because I hosted him in Argentina. I would like to host them once again in Rwanda. Please come here, and we will arrange your meetings with the think tanks of Rwanda and with the universities of Rwanda, so we can have an academic tour of the ISSI and PAIDAR together. So I also invite all of you that you should come to Rwanda at your convenience, and Pakistan High Commission Rwanda Kigali will be taking care of you. Another very important thing is that if not every leaf of tea, every second leaf of Rwandan tea, it goes to Pakistan. We have tremendous bilateral relationship in commercial field now. When I joined 1 year and a half before, so our bilateral trade was $34 million. And today it is $127 million annual trade between Rwanda and Pakistan. This was because of the proactive diplomacy, commercial diplomacy of Pakistan High Commission, and also collaboration of the Rwandan High Commission in Islamabad, as well as the ministries here in Kigali. So we have achieved a very big goal to cross 100 million, and now we are officially, according to Rwandan statistics, we are $127 million. So tea from Rwanda, it goes to Pakistan. More than 50% of their Rwandan tea, it goes to Pakistan. One of the challenges is to make it direct between Pakistan and Rwanda. Next, we are exploring the possibility of exporting Rwandan coffee, beans, lentils, pulses, legumes to Pakistan, because we import all this from the whole world. So our economy that is based on complementarity. It means that there is no clash, there is no kind of competition. What Rwanda has, we don't have it. For example, in Pakistan, we don't have a single plant of coffee, or we don't have avocado, we don't have a lot of lentils, pulses, and beans. We import it from other countries. So why not from Rwanda? So we are working on it on technical to invite a delegation from Pakistan to come, and they do the phytosanitary certification so that we don't have these legal technical formalities, and then Rwandan products will be available in Pakistan. I am also offering to Rwandan exporters that they should launch their own brand in Pakistan of tea and coffee so that Rwanda is more popularized in Pakistan. Because Pakistan is a country of 250 million people, it's a huge market for the exports of Rwanda. On the other hand, Pakistani rice, very popular here. Everywhere that I go, to any university, to any office, to any ministry, and I ask people, what do you know about Pakistan? So the first word that they mention, that is rice. Rice is coming from Pakistan, textile is coming from Pakistan. There are some stitching units now. Pakistanis, they started here manufacturing. Also, Pakistani surgical instruments have been started now to the biggest hospital of Kigali, King Faisal Hospital. Now they are using Pakistani surgical instruments mostly. And also our sports goods. Recently, we did a huge exhibition of the Pakistan sports goods items here in Pakistan High Commission with the collaboration of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Africa Division. And I'm personally thankful to Ambassador Hamid Azhar Khan. They enabled us, and we did a huge exhibition here where hundreds and hundreds of people there participated. So Pakistani sports items like football and bats and rackets and from Sialkot and other cities are also coming to Rwanda now. They started coming. Another item that which is on a huge demand here, that is pharmaceuticals. Pakistani pharmaceuticals are now getting popularity because we are competing with the other countries which are exporting. We have some technical problems, and the High Commissioner of Rwanda is sitting there. So she may also bring in the kind notice of the Rwandan authorities to ease a little bit technical prerequisites for the imports of some of the products. So once we have, as Rwanda is very famous for ease to do business, it is number 2 in Africa, and maybe now number 1 after Mauritius, that you facilitate businesses. So we also need some special attention from the Rwandan. I'm already talking to Rwandan authorities that they should give some special this concession kind of, because once we introduce the products, then all other things will come naturally. Another very important field that we have, that is art and culture. The genocide memorial which Ambassador Hamid Azhar Khan mentioned, we took 11 artists from that genocide memorial, and they went to Karachi, and they were viral in Pakistan with their dance, with their music, with their aesthetics stuff. So they were viral, and I received a lot of news from Pakistan. And we also brought 2 cultural troupes from Pakistan, and they performed in the same genocide memorial, and also they performed in Serena Hotel. And you will imagine that not a single Pakistani and Rwanda, they could sit on their chairs. Everybody was celebrating, everybody was dancing. One group from Peshawar, Fumarian, they also visited Rwanda, and they also became quite popular. Education, we are doing a lot. We, Pakistan High Commission, we did internship program for more than 120 Rwandan graduates and undergraduates. Also, we are connecting some of the students to Pakistani universities. Again, with the help of the Africa Division, we are exploring different private and government universities which they can offer scholarships to Rwandan students. Some of the students that are already there doing their PhD, and some have already done and master degrees, and I receive a lot of requests. So I request Ambassador Hamid Azhar Khan to facilitate us further, and also the EAD, Economic Affairs Division of Pakistan, so that we can give more and more scholarships to Rwandan students here. Another area which is of highly important, that is tourism. Pakistan was declared as #1 destination of tourism by United Nations 1 or 2 years back. And Rwanda is also very much advanced in tourism. You will not find a single hotel room vacant on any night. You call hotel and every hotel is full. Millions and hundreds and thousands of tourists, they are coming to Rwanda. Why not Pakistanis? They should also consider Rwanda as one of their tourism destination. And the same is for Rwandans. They should go to Pakistan. They should explore the Himalayan part of Pakistan, the northern areas, the deserts of Pakistan, the archaeology of Pakistan, the relics of Pakistan. So tourism is one of the field on which we are also already focusing to give it more attention. And we, as Ambassador Fato already mentioned, we are working on different MOUs. We already signed 3 MOUs. Ambassador Hamidullah Khan signed one. The bilateral or political consultations. We already have defense MOU. And this is a very good news that every important person from Minister of Defense of Rwanda, they visited Pakistan. Their air chief visited Pakistan recently. The army chief visited Pakistan. The chief of defense staff visited Pakistan. And Ambassador Foreign Minister also visited Pakistan, and Senate Chairman also visited Pakistan during my tenure here. So a lot of VVIPs and a lot of important, and we are working one day. Why not His Excellency President Paul Kagame? He will be in Pakistan, and I heard in Pakistan about him. He is quite popular. His leadership style, his governance, everything is so popular. So why not one day, with the collaboration of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and here the ministries, we can also arrange his visit to Pakistan. I remember that Hamid Azhar Khan, His Excellency, also proposed that on one of our important day, like 23rd March or 14 August, he can be the guest of honor or the chief guest. So we will be also working on that areas. So air service agreement, this is under pipeline. We want to connect Rwanda Air to Pakistan, and Pakistani, if not PIA, so why not a private agency, private air travel should come to Rwanda. And from Rwanda, the East Africa, Central Africa, and South Africa, they can cover from this, because Kigali, Rwanda is constructing one of the huge airports. And it is on the level of Qatar or Dubai airports. So this will be, you will consider Rwanda like a hub. You imagine Doha or Dubai, and the same will be Kigali after 2-3 days, 2-3 years. So this is air services. That is one of the important areas that we have to work. Another important thing is the institutional linkages between RDB, BUI, and other ministries. We are already working on an MOU in this regard. Local government. When I visited the Minister of Local Government here, he told me, what is the secret of the success of Rwanda? Governance is everywhere. If you go to a peak in Rwanda, to a mountain, to a hill, there also you will find governance. And that is the secret of the local government. So we are working on an MOU on local government that we can also learn from Rwandan experiences, and also we share our experiences, because Pakistan is a huge country. We have so many districts. Why not we can connect districts to districts and learn from each other? Technical education, we are working on an MOU. We are also working on gender promotion, family promotion, and child development. Rwanda is an example. Everywhere you will find women participation. If it is a market, if it is an office, if it is parliament, everywhere you will find women, they are participating. So there is a gender equality model, Rwanda. So Pakistan can also learn from this. Bilateral trade agreement, we are also working on it. On avoidance of double taxation, we are working on it. Rule of law and justice, we are also working on it, because our legal fraternities and Supreme Court, High Courts, and Ministry of Justice, they can also be connected, and already work is going on this area. Higher education, another important area, we are working on an MOU on this, and cultural cooperation, as I mentioned. So there are so many things, but which I can talk on this like hours and hours, maybe on some other occasion. So I repeat my request, my invitation to the PAIDAR and ISSI to visit Rwanda, is one day we would like to see you here sitting and observing and feeling Rwanda with your own eyes. and we will fully collaborate in that. Your visit will also give us an opportunity that we can connect you to the other institutions there in Rwanda. Thank you very much, everybody, and I wish once again happy Independence Day, happy Liberation Day, and happy week celebrations. And Pakistan and Rwanda will grow together. We cooperate with each other multilaterally, bilaterally, everywhere. And there is a huge sentiment, a lot of energy between the two countries. So all the best. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you so much. I would now like to request Lieutenant Colonel Ismail, Defense Attaché, High Commissioner of Rwanda, for his brief presentation.
Thank you. I want to start with this man by names of Major General Fred Rwigema. Rwigema is a Rwandan whose family was sent into exile when he was only 3 years old. So he grew up in Uganda. He joined military ranks in Uganda and fought alongside the Front for Liberation of Mozambique, Frelimo. And then he fought in the liberation wars of Uganda and then launched our liberation war in 1990. And on the second day of the attack, he was killed on front line. General Fred Rwigema once said, or several times he said, and I quote, "Our people cannot continue to be called refugees, neither be always oppressed. We must liberate our country, even if some of us would not be alive to see the beauty of the streets of our capital city." End of quote. Honorable Senator Mshahidi Hussein, Chief Guest, Excellencies, all protocols duly observed. Good afternoon. In this month of July, we have double celebrations: the independence and our liberation. In 1962, we got the independence from Belgium. So one would ask, then after, why the liberation? Our leadership chose to celebrate these 2 days on the same day. So this year marks the 63rd anniversary of our independence and 31st anniversary of our liberation. So how it came to have this liberation? For centuries, Rwanda existed in a centralized monarchy under a succession of kings who ruled under the military chiefs, the cattle chief, and land chiefs. The king was the supreme, and all of the other Rwandans lived together in harmony. Rwanda was colonized by Germany, and after the First World War, their colony was taken because they lost war. Then the system of indirect rule continued with Rwanda as a mandate territory of the League of Nations under Belgium. Germans were not interested in disrupting social affairs of the Rwandans. Their sole concern was efficient extraction of natural resources and trade of profitable cash crops. Contrary to the Belgians, influenced by their racial attitudes, their social scientists declared that Hutus and Tutsis composed two fundamentally different ethno-racial groups. I heard in Belgium they had two tribes which could keep on fighting each other. So that's what they were trying to find out. This Belgian ethnic theory provided a conceptual foundation for Tutsis and Hutus to start identifying themselves as different ethnic groups. Belgians institutionalized a rigid ethnic classification by issuing ethnic identification cards. And at that time, every Rwandan was branded Hutu, Tutsi, or Etwa as a tribe. At the time Belgians were to leave Rwanda, the Hutus and Tutsis as racial identities had been firmly institutionalized. The long process of constructing this ethnicity continued and strengthened even in post-colonial regimes. In 1957, a UN mission to the region received 2 declarations of independence. One was a proclamation by the King's High Council, which proposed a rapid transfer of power from the Belgians to the royal leadership. This emphasized ending racial tensions between white colonizers and black colonials. Another one was by Hutu political elites that called for double liberation of the Hutus, one from the colonialists and another one from the Tutsis, from the kingdom. On 1st July 1962, Belgium, with the UN oversight, granted independence to Rwanda, as well as creating it as a republic governed by MDR Parmehutu, the party that was basically of Hutu as a tribe now. The immediate post-colonial regimes institutionalized a policy of divisionism as a system of governance devoted to separating Rwandans along ethnic lines. Accordingly, Tutsis were targeted and harassed. They faced exclusion, torture, and repression, causing thousands of deaths and sending many of them into exile. While in exile, despite the sufferings of refugees that one could be knowing, other things happened. One is that young Rwandans joined the then African liberation movements, notably Major General Fred Rwigema and Major General Paul Kagame, and many others. That is one. Second, a political movement was born from exile, Rwanda Patriotic Front, with 8 points program, including unit of Rwandans and safe return of refugees, among others. The return of refugees was raised on both regional and international arena, but the response of the then government was that the country was full, and their argument was example of a glass full of water that if you add more, the water would be diminished. On 1st October, RPF and its military wing, RPA, launched a liberation war against the oppressing government. The early days of the invasion were marked by the tragedy. I know when my ambassador told me to speak on this event, I knew she wanted me to say that we. She wanted me to include myself. I know it is what she wanted, because she said I have to speak about liberation. And I may not go astray, but mention that we did this. Unfortunately, due to the Pakistan-Rwanda collaboration, as of today, I'm seated here with a colleague now in the National Defense University here, taking his post. He's here. I'm requesting just to raise the hand and I used to stay with this man in trenches. In the early 90s, I stayed with this man in the trenches when we were doing this thing. So she wanted me to say this, so I have done it. So in the early days of the invasion, as I said, it was marked by tragedy because on the second day of the invasion, our commander-in-chief, Major General Rwigema, was killed on the front line. And his death was followed by deaths of other senior commanders. The operation almost collapsed due to the lack of top leadership. But weeks later, the then Major Paul Kagame, who was on a military course in the United States of America at Fort Leavenworth, left the course and joined the colleagues and took over the command of the Liberation War. On the other side, the Rwandan government that we were fighting had received support from France and from Zaire, the current Democratic Republic of Congo. So both countries provided, they contributed soldiers and equipment, the front line, but we defeated them. It is history I'm repeating. The government started portraying, instead of concentrating on us who were fighting them, they started portraying Tutsis inside Rwanda as collaborators of RPF and declared them enemies. Hate speeches against Tutsis were published over the national and private TVs and radios. Tutsis were dehumanized. They were called snakes and cockroaches. Government directed massacres of hundreds of Tutsis in mid-October 1990 and in 5 other episodes before 1994. This was a trial. They wanted to see if they can do it. The massacres of Tutsis and other crimes against them went unpunished, thus fostering a sense that violence against Tutsi was normal. After 3 years of fighting and multiple ceasefires, the government and RPF signed a ceasefire agreement in 1993, which is commonly referred to as the Arusha Peace Accords. The agreement provided for the establishment of a broad-based transitional government, repatriation of refugees, and integration of the armed forces of the two sides. In October 1993, the Security Council established an international force. It was called the United Nations Assistance Mission for Rwanda, UNAMIR. This was approved, and their mandate was to help both parties to implement the Arusha Peace Accords and monitor the implementation and support the transitional government. The then President Habyarimana faced increasing pressure from international actors to enact the peace accords, but members of his inner circles demanded to ignore the peace accords. President attempted to delay the full implementation of the agreement as long as possible. The extremist Hutus considered the agreement to be treasonous and called for lynching of all Tutsis. In December 93, the plan to massacre Tutsi was set in motion, and village leaders distributed guns and machetes to the already prepared militias. While we were preparing to join or to mix, to put down our arms, the other side was preparing to eliminate anyone branded as a Tutsi. On 6 April 1994, an aircraft carrying the president crashed at the Kigali International Airport, killing all those on board. Reports from independent investigations so far reveals that the president was assassinated by his close members. Despite the shock, the government soldiers and militias were seemingly prepared for this turn of events, because just after minutes, not in 2 hours of the crash of the plane, the roadblocks were immediately erected. Tutsis were hunted everywhere, and within that night, genocide started. Victims were shot, beaten, or hacked to death, and within only 100 days, over 1 million innocent people were brutally killed by the government that had a responsibility to protect them. The UNAMIR, the mission, the UN peacekeeping mission, which was there present, their mandate was to oversee the implementation of the accords. Now the situation changed the course. People are being killed, and you don't have the mandate to protect them. So the UNAMID, the first commander, a Canadian General Romeo Dallaire, asked his headquarters to support him with a stronger mandate and at least more troops, but his players were rejected. Instead, genocide continued, and all of these events of the genocide were committed in the presence of a peacekeeping force in the country. And contrary, in that same month of April, on 21st, a resolution was passed by United Nations to reduce the number of peacekeepers from 2,500 to 270. That was what they could do for us. Yes. The international community failed Rwanda when we really needed them highly. The then RPA Commander-in-Chief, General Paul Kagame, sent a clear message to the international community that if no one can stop genocide, myself and my troops will do it. Nothing happened, no reaction. So despite the international community inaction, RPA was given instructions to launch an offensive against genocidal government to stop the genocide. And we did it. The goal was uncompromising: to defeat genocidal forces, destroy the roadblocks manned by the militias, and save Tutsis wherever they were being hunted. Every area we secured, we provided medicine, we provided food, shelter. We restored a measure of humanity in the face of systematic extermination. On 4th July, we secured the capital city. We liberated the whole country from the genocidal government, a day in our history that signifies the country's rebirth after genocide. Excellencies, this extraordinary military effort, spearheaded by a resolve to stop the genocide, regardless of international community inaction, remains one of the most defining chapters in Rwanda's history. The liberation ensured security, restored dignity, and renewed hope for Rwandans. It is the day which actually many of Rwandans consider the real independence. within the allotted 10 minutes. That's all I can say about the genocide. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel Ismail. I would now like to hand over the floor to our chief guest, Senator Mushaid Hussain Said, who really doesn't need an introduction. Sir.
Thank you very much. In the name of the Almighty, the Lord of all mankind, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'll start with the ladies first because we have Her Excellency, my dear neighbor also in E7, Ambassador Fatma. And within a year, you have absolutely turned everything around with your presence. And I can also see, and this is also very important in our Pakistani context, the harmony between civil and military in Rwanda. Because Colonel Ismail and the ambassador are working in harmony for the greater good of Rwanda and Pakistan-Rwanda relations. Thank you so much. Senator Stara Yaz, Secretary General of the International Parliamentarians Congress. Excellency, the Dean of the Africa Diplomatic Corps, my friend Ambassador Carmon, and I have just come back from Morocco, and especially the visit to the great city of Tangiers, where I visited Ibn Battuta's tomb also, and his home also. So I learned a lot from your great country. And of course, my good friend who represents the 5,000-year-old Yemeni civilization, Ambassador Motahar al-Shabi, yes. Chairman of the Institute of Strategic Studies, Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, Additional Foreign Secretary Hamid Asar Khan Sahib, who has made a difference and who has a certain passion for Africa, which has been demonstrated in his visits. And my dear friend, Ambassador Sohail Mahmood, one of the best and the brightest, a Pakka made in Pakistan nationalist who has always preserved, promoted, and protected Pakistan's interests. And of course, none other than Amna Khan Saiba. And she's spearheading this initiative. I think one day you'll be ambassador to some African country, inshallah. And you deserve it also. Concurrent accreditation. And several concurrent accreditations. Maybe Rwanda, Senegal, and so forth, you know. And Colonel Ismail, thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to be here, to be speaking here. First of all, I would like to congratulate. Today is a very historic day. Not just we're celebrating the Liberation Day, which actually is on 4th of July. And thank you for your invitation card. And we'll be there for the cake cutting, you know, don't worry. And look forward to that. But today is 27th of June, Friday. And in 3 hours' time, in Washington, D.C., there will be a historic signing of a peace accord between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. I think this is quite historic. So this shows that there is a similarity between Rwanda and Pakistan. Number one is that Rwanda and Pakistan are both friends of President Trump. Because he is the organizer. And I would like to congratulate President Trump also and President Paul Kagame, because this is the hat trick of ceasefires. President Trump did the ceasefire for Pakistan and India. He did the ceasefire for Iran and Israel. And now he's doing the ceasefire for Rwanda and Congo. This is amazing. And also I would like to compliment President Felix Tshisekedi of Congo, because he also has been involved, and I think it's very important. So I think this is a very historic day. And according to the outlines of the agreement, because Marco Rubio will be overseeing that signing, there will be a focus on return of refugees and displaced persons, also disarmament also. And you also have the TTP and BLA, FDLR, which is destabilizing your country. And that will be disarmed and that will be finished. External. And I think we need that, because we can't have interference from outside to destabilize our countries. And we reject that. And that's a very good sign. And then also there's a framework for regional economic integration. So it's a very comprehensive peace accord. It's very positive. I had, Ambassador Naeem Saab, if you're still listening, thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your kind invitation. I will certainly love to come again, because I visited Rwanda in 2022. And I stayed there and I met President Paul Kagame. It was the IPU meeting, International Parliamentary Union. And we had a great time there, cleanest capital. And we have 2 Pakistani restaurants with cooks from Lahore and Peshawar. So you have a Pakhtun cuisine, another cuisine also, and excellent rapport with the local population also, and the cleanest capital that I've visited, without a doubt. Absolutely. And also, I had the opportunity of visiting the Genocide Museum, and I would share the sentiments expressed by Ambassador Hamid Asghar on that. So, and I would like to place on record the appreciation of President Paul Kagame. He's really, truly a great leader of Africa. I think two of the big leaders of Africa today is one is Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, and the other one is President of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, because they are leaders who are unifying their country, who are building their country, and who have shown that national reconciliation should be paramount. So, and I met your army chief when he came. Your army chief came for the conference, which was organized, the Aman exercise of the Pakistan Navy. And in fact, he and I traveled together in the same boat for that different thing. And I was the keynote speaker there, by the way. And so we had very good discussions with Rwanda friends. And I'm very happy to note that Rwanda and Pakistan now have very close cooperation in national security issues. And I think that's the need of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard some very graphic presentations from Ambassador Fatima and Colonel Ismail about what happened in Rwanda. When the genocide took place in World War II, the crimes against humanity committed by the Christians of Europe against the Jews of Europe, which we all condemn, the Holocaust, it was said never again this will happen. But in the last 30 years, we have seen three genocides. Three genocides in the last 30 years. Rwanda, and it's so disgraceful and shameful what you said, sir. The 6th of April, the genocide starts, and 21st of April, the UN says, look, cut down the troops, UN peacekeeping. The second one took place in July 1995, Srebrenica in Bosnia-Herzegovina against Muslim youth and men, when 9,000 Muslim men and children were massacred in 48 hours under the watchful eyes of the United Nations and the Dutch peacekeepers, by the way, for your information. And the third one is ongoing in Palestine, again under the watchful eyes of the so-called civilized West. So what is the big lesson we have from these three genocides? That the international community, the so-called Western civilized world, unfortunately, sees situations based on either the color of your skin, race, or religion. If you're from a different religion, then it's a different thing. I'm sorry to say that, but there are double standards on that. And also the other lesson is, which we have learned when we defeated India in May, which Iran learned when they defeated Israel recently, is that you are very much on your own. You cannot bank on anybody else. You have to fight your own battles. And that's what President Paul Kagame, General Kagame said, that, okay, if you won't stop the genocide, we'll do it ourselves. And you did it on your own. And I think that's a very important lesson that we have imbibed from that. And apart from that, we also feel that there is a certain camaraderie, a certain solidarity between the global South, Asia, Africa, Latin America. And I would like to tell Ambassador Naim that inshallah, I plan to visit Ghana for an international conference of African political parties. It's being held in Accra in the middle of August. And if you invite us, we'll certainly there, and I'll request DG Sohail Mahmood Sahab to allow Ambassador Amna Khan also to accompany me. Because no, this is very important. We also believe in gender balance and gender parity, because he mentioned about Rwanda. And I think that she's a gutsy lady who was also driving the passion for Africa in the think tank also. So inshallah, we'll do that. But above all, I think that the world is changing. People are taking the destiny in their own hands. And I mentioned the 3 ceasefires, which has been done by President Trump. So it also shows that you yourself, when you fight to protect your interests, then the international community also takes notice. But if you're helpless and just waiting and watching, nothing is going to happen. And finally, I'd like to say that there is, of course, tremendous potential. That's why we launched in this institute. Thank you, Ambassador Sohail Mahmood and Ambassador Khalid Mahmood Saab, the Pakistan Africa Institute for Development and Research, PAIDAR. And together with the Center for Afghanistan, Middle East, and Africa, led by, I'll call you Excellency now, Her Excellency Amna Khan, because it's a future, you know. And so we have to take this forward because the future is that all these countries of Africa, and with spearheaded by the Foreign Office under your leadership, Ambassador Hamid Asghar Khan Sahab. And please do read Surah Falak because there are penalties of success also. If you're too successful, they say that we want him to remain there for the next couple of years. It'll make a difference also, I think. And because when we talk of Asia-Africa solidarity, and recently we also had this conference on 70 years of Bandung. 70 years ago, the seed was laid, Asia and African countries together. And today we are seeing the fruits of that camaraderie, that solidarity between Asia and Africa. And of course, I'd like to include Latin America as well. So in that spirit, we will take it forward, inshallah, and we look forward to a very close relationship. And next month, by the way, there'll be, I think, 3 or 4 events taking place about African countries you mentioned. So the Institute of Strategic Studies, I would also like to compliment them because they're going to celebrate their birthday. I think it's coming next week, Monday. Yeah. And happy birthday to that. This was the first institute of the think tank established. And I would like to give credit to the late Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. 1973. And this was Mr. Ross Masood Hussain, a very dear friend of mine who is now passed away. He was the first Director General of this institute. And I remember when I came from America, I was very keen to look for a job here, but I was declined that job. So, but luckily my sister got a job here under Brigadier Noor Hussain.
One of the few good things that we have done.
So I applied for a job. I was also selected. There was a post they had advertised for research consultant in grade 19. And I was interviewed by Ambassador Sahibzada Yaqub Khan Sahab. He was the ambassador. And Iki Raza, Mr. Iqbal Raza Sahab, Amir Usman Sahab, there was a big Majid Mufti Sahab panel, and they had approved. They said, fine, I cleared all the tests. But when I came here, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was lost in translation on the post. So they said, no, we cannot give you this. And they said, you're too young for this thing. I was 23 then. I said, but I've been selected already. Anyway, but I was lucky that my sister, Tehseen Sayed, she got the job later on her own. She came from Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. And then she stayed here for 5-6 years. And then I used to come and visit Brigadier Noor Hussain Saab, who was a very dynamic DG. And in this land, that we owe it is to him because he got it directly from General Zia. And so this Institute of Strategic Studies also has its history of its own. In 52 years, it has been the think tank which is promoting and fighting the battle of ideas. And in that spirit, and I'm very happy that the current leadership, Chairman Khalid Mahmood, Ambassador Suhail Mahmood, Her Excellency Amna Khan and others, her talented team, they are continuing that tradition. Whether it's Africa, whether it's Latin America, whether it's Afghanistan. And we were very happy that the Foreign Minister of Rwanda also had addressed this think tank. And it's a great pleasure and honor to be here. And it's a very momentous day. It's a happy occasion, Fatma. Again, congratulations. And I think it's a pre-celebration because we'll have a real celebration on 4th of July. But this is the pre-celebration because today, this evening, you'll be signing the peace accord. And this is a historic peace accord because this battle that has been going on, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, it's there. And one other thing which Pakistan and Rwanda have common is minerals. You have lots of minerals DRC has $24 trillion, they say, and you have also a few $1 trillion, and we also have a few $1 trillion. So inshallah, we'll there, and a lot of cooperation. And Sikandar Shah is from the IBA Sakhar. I invited him especially. He's a professor of international relations. I think you should unilaterally offer to take students from Rwanda. Yours is one of the best institutions of higher learning in Sindh. It's ranked higher than the IBA in Karachi. So I think please make that offer. For 10 students, 5 ladies and 5 gentlemen. And I think, Sikandar Sahab, please do that. And it's a very good, I was there recently for the Sindh Literature Festival. I spent 3 days on campus, and it's one of the best institutions in Pakistan. So inshallah, Pakistan-Rwanda cooperation will increase. Long live Pakistan-Rwanda friendship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Mushahid Hussain. I would now like to hand over the floor to Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, Chairman, Board of Governors, ISSI, for his vote of thanks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Chief Guest, Senator Mushahid Hussain Sayyid, Director General ISSI, Ambassador Sohail Mahmood, Keynote Speaker, Ambassador Ahmed Asghar Khan, High Commissioner of Rwanda to Pakistan, and Pakistan's High Commissioner to Rwanda, Mr. Naeem Khan, Ambassador of Morocco and Ambassador of Yemen, and senators. As has been pointed out, today is occasion of three celebrations. One, of course, the independence of Rwanda, second, liberation of Rwanda, and thirdly, this conclusion of the peace agreement between Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. But whenever one thinks of Rwanda, one naturally recalls this bloodiest chapter in the contemporary history of Africa. That is the genocide which took place in 1994 there. In 100 days, 1 million people lost their lives. And according to one account, at a rate of killing 4 times greater than at the height of the Nazi Holocaust. It was so severe. 4 times. Anyway, that was a chapter in the history of that country which will never be forgotten. But then Rwanda is now turned towards stability, peace, forgiveness, nation building, and it has been showing an average growth rate of more than 7% now, which is really creditable. And it has lifted more than 1 million people out of poverty. And Rwanda, though victim of the indifference of the United Nations peacekeeping forces, is now one of the 4th largest contributor to the United Nations peacekeeping efforts. So what a change, you know. But one feature, you know, which has already been pointed out, that in Rwanda's special effort is being made to give women a greater role in the nation building. At one point, there are 62% of parliamentarians, 50% of ministers, and 44% of officials in the judiciary are women in Rwanda. So, of course, Pakistan is giving now greater attention to Africa, and our relationship with Rwanda is in keeping with this Engage Africa policy of Pakistan. And I must acknowledge the great contribution which Ambassador Ahmed Asghar Khan is making in giving a practical shape to that policy. Right. You are really mover and shaker behind this policy. Right. Of course, like any other developing country, Rwanda faces some challenges, but we are sure that they will be able to overcome all those challenges, and Rwanda will emerge as the leading nation in the African continent. So again, congratulations to you, Madam, to your people on this very felicitous occasion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to say that there's been a remarkable publication produced by the Institute of Strategic Studies. The historical evolution. यार ये जालम फोटो लें इसकी जल्दी. The historical evolution of Pakistan-Africa relations. I think this is the most comprehensive document I've seen published in Pakistan on all aspects of Pakistan-Africa relations, with specific countries listed in that. Our relations with Morocco, with other countries, African Kenya, whatever. So this is a very good document, which is an invaluable reference for scholars, students, ambassadors, including Fatima, and colonels and generals also. You better read it also. So thank you very much. And I think well done to the Institute of Strategic Studies. Well done, Amna Khan and Suhail Saab and Khalid Saab for this document. Leli photo ji. Thank you. वो बाद में करेंगे ना.
An example for Paidar to follow.
Yes, exactly. We work together. Absolutely. Thank you. We'll do that. Follow any good example, mashallah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Mushahid Hussain, for your very kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, while this brings us to the end of today's event, I would request you all to be seated. I'm just going to request Jameel Saab to recite Fatiha for our former chairman, again, who passed away today, Mr. Agha Murtaza Poya.
I just want to say that it has been a tremendous loss, Agha Murtaza Poya Saab. I worked with him. He was the owner and publisher of The Muslim, and I was the chief editor of Muslim for 5 years. He appointed me there, and he was the best boss that I worked with. I would say he was Pakistan's most boldest, most imaginative newspaper publishers. And Muslim was a newspaper that created a special niche. And I think we should pay tribute. And yesterday I was coming from Karachi. I happened to be coming with the family in the same plane. And I think it's a befitting tribute. And he was chairman also of the Institute of Strategic Studies for 3-4 years. And we remember, and I'm just coming here from his Namaz Janaza today at the mosque in Jina. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like the panel to please for a group photo. Thank you.